Hi, super loved one. Welcome back for yet another weekly update on super loved relationship. I'm so glad you're here. While I was thinking about feeling into the inspiration for this week's video, I remembered this card. So I didn't, pick it from the deck. I just selected this consciously because it came to me that over the course of the past few weeks, I've had a lot of conversations with people that were focused around a theme of feeling insecure, of feeling a bit of fear, feeling a bit of anger, feeling like we don't really know where we're going. So that's causing stress in relationships, in friendships, between colleagues even sometimes. And obviously, there's a lot going on in the world today. And a lot of what we see in the physical world is not so loving, you know? It seems like things are happening that are spot on triggering fear energies, anger energies, to make us feel more resistant than maybe we already were. And this card is a reflection in this deck of true love. And the reason I selected this is because this card shows you in one image what a super loved relationship is really based on. Because it's based on seeing yourself reflected in the other person and seeing yourself reflected in a relationship. So for people who are in a relationship, this is a theme to look for and to be aware of. And for people who are single and who are not yet in this relationship, but who have a desire to meet someone or be with someone, it's important to realize that the true love starts with the mirror image, which really is about you, because it's reflecting you in the situation. So true love, it really is a beautiful thing because this is coming from you, from yourself, from who you are, and it's independent of what's happening in the world. The problem is we tend to forget about that a lot of the times. So our physical senses, our 5 bodily senses, are geared towards processing information that we perceive in the world around us. And the information is turned into thoughts, and the thoughts are triggering feelings and emotions, and that's how we sort of keep ourselves in a loop all day. And that makes us forget. It's very easy to forget that true love not only starts with you and it comes from the heart, but it's happening inside you. So when you are connected to love and to light, that is what you will see reflected back at you in the world around you. So I feel really called today to focus on this theme. Super loved relationship as a term for a relationship is actually showing you this and helping you move forward in your process of making your relationship less about what's happening in the physical world and more about what's happening in your inner world. All right, so having said that, I'm going to keep this card, and you know what, I'll just put it right here. And let me draw another couple of theme cards to get this reading started. Time check. All right, let's see. What is important for us to know when we talk about our super loved relationship and what we feel reflected in our outside world? Angels of the 4 directions. This is a great start because 4, this is a energy 4 card, true love, and we get the 4 spirit card, which says angels of the 4 directions. We are being supported by the universe, by energy, by source, by God, whichever term is working for you, to rise up from the fear and anxiety and the lower vibrational energies that are keeping us stuck and align ourselves with our true purpose and what we know to be true in our hearts. Because we are not really meant to get lost in the world of the physical without having any connection to what we really are. We really are light. We're beings of light having a physical experience. And that's the essence of who we are. And Angels of the Four Directions is a card that shows you that you can call upon angels, or, you know, if the concept of angels doesn't work for you, guides, other people, maybe deceased loved ones you have, or teachers you believe in. You can call upon those people you believe in, you relate to help you realign with who you really are. And that's a being of light. And they can help you see your true reflection in the mirror, because that's what this process really is about. And it's fascinating because a 2-2, a master number, came out of the Energy Oracle deck, and it's showing us yin and yang. And that's amazing. It's balancing the masculine energy with the feminine energy, the power of building, of constructing, of fire, of passion, of livelihood, of creation, with the receptive, intuitive, knowing, flowy, connective energy of the feminine. We need the balance. The world as we see it has been out of balance for a long time. And we're in a time period right now where the balance is being restored, but that's not happening so easily. And what's helping to restore the balance is us returning to our true love. And ultimately, that true love is about you. It's about you and your relationship to yourself. And if you clear any obstacles in this relationship, they will clear up in your partnership with someone. But it happens here first. This is beautiful. Wow, that's a powerful introduction. Yin and Yang. We would like to get some additional messages for our super loved relationship. Let us begin with the first pillar of our super loved experience, and that's awareness. It all starts with awareness. What can you tell us for this week about our awareness? The Chariots, the Six of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. Yeah, this feels like we are rapidly becoming more aware. We are rapidly opening up to new ideas and new views of the world. And those new views are leading us to understand that there is like a redistribution of not just of awareness and of love, but of the material world, like the systems that are holding things into place. Maybe they need like an upgrade or a downgrade and cease to exist, but that's just up to you for yourself to decide. But there's a powerful movement, a forceful movement moving ahead into this new phase where we will look at the distribution of wealth in a new light and see that it might need an upgrade. And the Knight of Swords is here to let us know that the process might happen very fast for some people. Some people may need more time to adjust to new ideas, and it can be a little painful. The Knight of Swords is about communicating the truth, and he doesn't beat around the bush. He's not being sensitive about it or politically correct, you know. He's just saying it as it is. And in our awareness, it might hurt at first, but once the first pain is sort of dealt with and settled down, it's going to help us get clarity on the next steps. And that's something I feel is very important to understand. All right, so what about our willingness? willingness gets the star. It gets the 10 of Swords. And it gets the World. Wow, this is powerful stuff. Willingness is, of course, about our ability to be more aware, become more aware. Because to become more aware, you have to be willing to open your mind to new ideas. A lot of people have believed that they were open to change, not realizing that their openness was only on a superficial level, and it wasn't really, to the core of their being. In the core of their being, there still resided a lot of fear. And fear is obviously what's causing people to get angry, to reject ideas, to start protesting, to use violence, to seek revenge, and willingness to really go deep into the core of our being and understand that once we're there, there's nothing but peace, there's nothing but love, there's nothing but unity consciousness, because that's when you're moving into your experience of a five-dimensional universe. That's what's receiving a lot of healing. We are closing out a cycle where we were ruled by fear, fearful thoughts. And there's actually 2 cards here that talk about closing a cycle. And this is the 10 of Swords, is like the mental, the thoughts, the communication that's closed off, the difficult time period that's closing. And the World talks about enlightenment, so understanding on a whole new level. And that's amazing because it starts with the star. So our willingness is healing. We may have thought we were willing before, and now we discover that really there's still a lot of fear program underneath that willingness. So we can be even more willing once we let go of the fear. And that's the star talking to us, because the star says, let us heal that fear. Let us open up and let go of the old thoughts that were weighing us down. And understand that the end of the cycle, the end of the world as we're sort of seeing it right now, is only like it's a result of a natural evolution. Like it's the natural movement of a clock. Like a clock keeps going around. Like the earth is sort of moving in its evolution constantly. And this is just a next phase. So our willingness is receiving a very powerful boost. What about personal growth? What could we pay attention to with consideration to our considering our personal growth? The 8 of Swords, the Emperor, and the 8 of Cups. 2 8s. Yeah. This is us taking the lead of our development, of our growth as a person. And that's the Emperor. He's sort of structuring, organizing the world, taking the lead. So in our personal growth, this is probably where we are going to feel the need to sort of, okay, sit down, grab a journal, write down some of the stuff that we want to do, stuff that we want to close out, stuff that we're willing to let go of. And what we're going to let go of is our own fearful thoughts and the idea that we were stuck. Because 8 of Swords is talking about feeling stuck and like a prisoner of a situation and not being able to get out. But you can get out. It's a matter of just, untying your hands, taking off your blindfold, and see that there's plenty of space in between these swords that will allow you to escape. And the 8 of Cups on the other side is talking about walking away from a situation and following your intuition, following your inner guidance, your inner knowledge. And in this particular deck, there are 3 of Wands is here. There are cups standing up, and there are cups that have fallen over. So they have lost their contents. So the situation that you are walking away from in your old has to do with how you perceived your world. And it may have been emotionally fulfilling and unfulfilling at the same time. You often see that fear structures that we are creating in our lives, and that differs from being in a relationship that doesn't really work for you, to sticking to a job that's not really good for you, or living somewhere you're not happy. The fear is making sure that we stay stuck in a certain situation because it's familiar to us, because it's what we know, it's what we don't know what's out there. We fear the unknown often, so we prefer to stay in a situation where we feel safe, because we may not be happy, but at least we know what we've got. And that's our personal growth, the emperor getting up and saying, listen, I know there are great things to the situation. There's also some stuff I'm not happy about. So I'm going to get up and I'm going to start walking into a new direction, into a new phase. And it doesn't mean that you have to end your relationship right here, or, start moving to a new home. But it does mean that you as a person are likely to feel the triggering, the desire to open up to new information, the desire to learn something new, the desire to move more into yin and yang, because somewhere this has been out of balance. All right, what about forgiveness? The pillar of forgiveness, the fourth pillar in the super loved relationship. What's important for us to know about forgiveness? We get the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, and the 5 of Wands. Okay, 2 10s. And then we have the 10 of Swords here. We have the World here. So there's a lot of closing of cycles here. Forgiveness is, we find it hard to forgive because it's about something that we've been carrying with us for a long time. And the problem is we are carrying a burden, but it's not aligned with what we really desire, which is complete emotional fulfillment, happiness, love, security, emotional connections, knowing each other, feeling safe with one another. That's what we desire, and that's what we haven't felt like we had. 5 of Wands is a card about struggle, and this can be inner struggle, but it can also be I feel like for many of us, this will be about inner struggle, which is related to the outer world, obviously, because we see a lot of conflict in the outer world, but the conflict that we are watching, we are perceiving, is making us question our own beliefs, our own thoughts, our own ideas. And it makes us feel that, okay, what is in the way of this emotional fulfillment? It's this burden that I haven't let go of yet. Do I want to let go? And what is the risk for me if I let go? Is there a risk for me? What's happening to my life if I let this go? So the question to forgive or not to forgive will bring up some conflict within us. Can you give us a little bit of clarification for the 5 of Wands? Sure do. The 9 of Wands. Well, it's been about something that we've carried with us for a long time. We're sort of exhausted from the conflict. It's something that we've been thinking about, wondering about, carrying with us. And we have come so far. Like we're 9, we're almost at the end of the cycle. What is it that we want to do? Because we're wary, We are wary of the situation. We're wary of how we feel about the situation. And we're wary of the struggle between carrying the burden of not forgiving versus what we really want, which is emotional fulfillment. So that's powerful stuff. So to sum this up, kind of to start to round off this reading, our awareness is taking flight. You can't really say that because awareness is always there. We are awareness. It's what we are, consciousness, but we are becoming more aware. And that's a painful process because it's requiring us to let go of old ideas. That's what we are also seeing in our personal growth path. We are taking charge more. We are facing our fears more, and we are deciding more to move, to walk away, to let go, to open up to new horizons. And for that, you have to be willing to make this move. You have to be willing because you're letting go of things. And our willingness is receiving strong, strong healing this week. So you might need to heal some perceptions, some ideas, some beliefs you have about yourself. But you are receiving a lot of help this week from the star to close out this cycle. And you are closing out a major cycle of maybe keeping smaller than you needed to in order to feel safe. And the Ten of Wands is the burden that you've been carrying, the question you've been having. What do I believe and who do I want to forgive? Do I want to forgive myself even for, feeling upset or having felt this way? Oftentimes when we're in this spiritual growth phase in our lives, we feel like we need to be very spiritual. We need to be forgiving and loving and not angry and not upset. And that's not really true. The truth is that those feelings you are likely going to have until you completely disconnect from the need for them. And that might take a long time because you're still connected to your body and your body is experiencing those things. So it's counterproductive to not give space to your emotions. You hear that? We're about to get a thunderstorm here. I love that. That's beautiful. It's sort of a reflection of all of the restless energy, the fiery energy that's, flying around in the cosmos around us. So forgiveness might be forgiveness for ourselves first, and that might need some realization. You might need to think about what is it, because I might feel angry or frustrated about the situation in the world, but it also might be about something in my relationship. But what is it that it's doing for me? What am I holding towards myself? Because that needs to be balanced. And in order to balance that, you could definitely count on the angels of the four directions, because this week, if you spend a little bit of time every day aligning with this energy, you will find that you will take large, large steps. So those were the four pillars of the super love relationship. To close this reading, we would like to receive some guidance for this coming week, because it feels like we have a lot of work to do and the cosmos is really restless. Meditate and contemplate. The new moon in Pisces. So this is a new beginning, a new cycle. And this is talking about like being emotionally connected to yourself. So instead of denying how you feel, it's probably more useful and better for you to acknowledge how you feel and sit with the feelings. Because only if you allow yourself to feel them, you will be able to move through them and feel the peace that's underneath. So it's also about connecting in relationships. And I read a quote the other day that comes to mind now. And it says, once listening to respond, I have to translate, once listening to respond turns into listening to understand, a true connection can occur. So this is like probably the guidance that I can give you that's very concrete to use this coming week. When am I listening just to respond? And when am I listening to understand? Because once I start listening to understand, space opens up for connection, for true connection, because you don't have to defend, what you believe and your thoughts and what you read. And you can just understand that someone else may have a different opinion, may feel differently, but underneath there's still a unity and oneness to go for. And meditation is a perfect way to pay attention to that. What else? Do you have more guidance? This one wanted to come out. The answers you need are coming. Yeah, a lot of full moon in Gemini. So this is about the twins, the twin flames, having this shadow side. It's actually, rounding it off with a true love card here, which is also kind of like twin flame connection. We have, I know I have, and you probably do too, you have so many questions about what's happening, why is it happening, and what can I do to make this world a better place? And this card is showing up right now to tell you that you don't need to worry because the answers you need are coming. It's about staying true to yourself and understanding that if you stay true to yourself, you don't need to fight to keep your position up, and then you can make space for another person. So trust that what you need to hear, you will hear, or what you will read it, you will see it somewhere. You might read a book, you might see a YouTube movie. The answers you need are coming. All right, let's one last card to round off this super loved relationship update. One card, please, for the super loved. How can we? You are good enough. The full moon in Virgo. Yeah. That's also about the heart connection, and it's also about the belief system that you may not be good enough, or the fear that's being triggered in you if someone challenges your belief system. You are good enough. You're allowed to have your own, opinions and ideas, and changing them because you learn about new information does not make you wrong now. You are always right. You are a being of light, and you are expanding in your awareness, in your potential, in your understanding of it, and you always have your heart connection to go back to. Because if you feel you are good enough, that's beautiful. That's the basis from which it all starts. But as soon as you don't feel good enough, this is where you need to go back to. So I would like to thank you so much for watching this. I hope this reading serves you. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.